While we're on the topic of Joe Rogan here, I'm going to lose my damn mind in this segment, bro. I'm going to lose my damn mind. Okay. So Overton News tweets, Joe Rogan just said the quiet part out loud about Trump's war on drugs, and it completely shatters the media's narrative. So look at the framing here. The dishonest mainstream media, and Joe Rogan's going to set the record straight. This person says, overdose deaths are collapsing nationwide, and Rogan says it's not an accident. Quote, they're blowing up these effing boats that are bringing in all the drugs. Holy cow. All right, so I'm going to play this for you, and then I'm going to give you the reality.
From the time Trump's been in office, deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And leading into 2025.
Just
look
going
at
down.
These are all deaths from overdoses. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, look at that. From all drugs, which is the top one, look at that drop. I mean, that's crazy. So you see the peak was in 2022, or it looks like actually 2020, between 2023 and 2024. That's the peak where people are dying. And then from the time Trump's in office, it's taking a fucking sharp downturn. And why is that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these fucking boats that are bringing in all the drugs. And not just drugs, but drugs that are tainted with fentanyl.
He is so in over his head that he has no idea what he's doing. So, of course, I responded to this, and I said, Rogan has no fucking clue what he's talking about. Overdose deaths were plummeting before Trump. Biden made naloxone available over the counter. Trump is bombing random fucking fishermen. That's the reason why drug deaths came down, is because Joe Biden made serious policy changes like naloxone being available over the counter. That's the anti-overdose drug. That made it much more widely available. That saved so many lives. So here we go. Look at this. The Biden administration has been expanding access to the overdose reversing medication, naloxone brand name Narcan, a key part of its strategy to combat the opioid crisis, including making it available over the counter. Key actions and initiatives regarding naloxone by the Biden administration include over-the-counter availability. They explain the specifics of that. CDC reports nearly 24% decline in U.S. drug overdose deaths. That's from February 2025, y'all. February. Trump was sworn in January 2025. Multiple factors contribute to the drop in overdose deaths, including widespread data-driven distribution of naloxone, which is a life-saving medication that can reverse an overdose, better access to evidence-based treatment for substance use disorders, shifts in the illegal drug supply, a resumption of prevention and response after pandemic-related disruptions, and continued investments in prevention and response programs like the CDC's flagship Overdose Data to Action program. Okay, ready? So now let's get a little more specific here on that chart that he's showing. Watch.
From the time Trump's been in office, deaths by overdose have dropped off a cliff. Look at that. Look at 2024. And leading into 2025.
All right, so one problem with this video is this chart is super tiny in this little squeezed down video. So I'm going to go ahead and find this chart on the internet in the original version of the Joe Rogan episode. And as you can see here, it took a couple of minutes to find it, but there's the chart, there's Joe Rogan, and this is episode 172 that was posted on January 1st, 2026. But if we want to find this chart, we need to look up Figure 1 Join Point Analysis of Drug Overdose Deaths DOD Rates. And as you can see, if we go ahead and put that exact sentence into Google and hit return, the first one that shows up is this link right here. So let's go ahead and click on that. And that takes us to this article that says decline in U.S. drug overdose deaths by region, substance, and demographics that was published on June 12th of 2025. And if we scroll down here, we indeed are going to see that this is the chart that Joe Rogan is showing on his show. Now, it does show a giant drop here, but this shows that it started in the middle of 2023 and ended before 2025. And if we pull out here and look at the results, it's going to say that this is taking data between January of 2015 and October of 2024. But as most people know, except Kimberly Guilfoyle, Joe Rogan, anyone who's on a show, and anyone who produces Joe Rogan's show, Donald Trump didn't become president again until January 20th of 2025. So again, showing any drop in these drug overdose deaths has nothing to do with Donald Trump, any of his policies, or anything, and yet Joe Rogan continues on saying this.
And then from the time Trump's in office, it's taking a fucking sharp downturn. And why is that? Well, part of it is because they're blowing up these fucking boats that are bringing in all the drugs.
So let me get this straight. Joe Rogan is staring at a chart where the data ends in October 2024, before Trump is even elected, but is somehow trying to tie that reduction in drug overdose deaths to the Venezuelan drug boat strikes that started on September 2nd of this year, 11 months later. And it's one thing for this idiot to say something that's totally wrong on his podcast, even though he dug out that chart and should have seen when the data started and ended, but it's a completely other thing to have this idiot amplify it on her official TikTok page when she is the 27th United States ambassador to Greece. That's right, she is representing our country overseas, and she can't even look up the basic facts. What a fool.
Guys, this is what I've been screaming about. This is what I call right-wing postmodernism. Postmodernism is this idea that there is no objective truth. There is no the truth. There's only like my truth. And that truth can vary from person to person. This is the idea. It's like a postmodernist, post-enlightenment perspective where it's very subjectivist, right? And Trump, being a right-wing postmodernist, he lives by this. He lives and dies by this idea of warring narratives. Whatever the truth is, I'll just override that. I'll make some shit up. I'll hammer it home over and over and over, and people will start believing that over reality. He'll do the, I solved 8 wars, I stopped 8 wars. Meanwhile, he's literally bombing like 8 countries. Stopped 0 wars, bombing 8 countries, but he pretends, I stopped 8 wars. I brought $20 trillion into this country. Literally didn't even bring $1 trillion in. It's just a total lie. But he says it over and over and over and gives his people a talking point where they make it real in their minds, even though it's fake, right? This is right-wing postmodernism. Joe Rogan is now part of that. Joe Rogan now goes out there and he says, oh, look, because Trump is bombing innocent fishermen in the Caribbean, drug deaths are plummeting, overdose deaths are plummeting. Isn't that amazing? When the exact chart he shows, if you dig deeper on it, you find out the decrease is literally all during the Biden administration. It's because of Biden's policies. It's because of the policies that right-wingers would say are fucking pussy-ass policies that'll incentivize more people to do drugs. I mean, they're just wrong about that, right? Like having safe injection centers, for example, having the naloxone freely available in many different places. They look at it as, you're incentivizing more drug use. Meanwhile, it literally objectively saves lives. And they try to give Trump credit for fucking murdering innocent fishermen from Trinidad and Tobago and Colombia and Venezuela. Right? No, it's the illegal war he's raging where he's murdering innocent people. That's the reason drug deaths are plummeting. I mean, this is so dishonest. And so he's in so over his head. It's like embarrassing. Like there's no way home for him. Like when you're this far gone, when you're repeating something like this so confidently on air, like there was nothing in your mind that said, let me pump the brakes a little bit here. Let me check the dates. Let me see if this lines up. Let me check the policies Biden did. Let me see exactly when the decrease happened. Nothing in your mind told you to do that. You went right to murdering people in the Caribbean is good. I mean, I got nothing for him. I got nothing for him. His brain is cooked. His brain is fried. Like it is astonishing how, and this misinformation spreads like fucking wildfire. And he's still one of the top podcasts in the world. And how many people watching his thing are going to go, that's it. And for now, more people will fucking think blowing up innocent fishermen in the Caribbean is actually based in good and actually somehow it saves lives to murder innocent people somehow, right? That's what a lot of these idiots will believe because they're being fucking propagandized on a daily basis. And so I don't know, man. It is just, I've covered Rogan a lot and I've tried to sort of keep him in check and give you guys the facts. And it's just like we're fucking fighting an uphill battle, dog. I am pissing against a gale force wind trying to like keep up with all this horse shit. And, he needs to know better. He needs to fucking be better than this. He needs to actually give a shit about whether or not he's telling the truth. He needs to care, and he just doesn't. He just doesn't. He's just gone. He's just like part of that fucking right-wing crowd now. He's buddy-buddy with fucking Elon Musk and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and Dana White. And like, he is one of these, is he worth $1 billion yet? He's got to be close, no? Like, he's part of that crew. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But needless to say, literally everything he said here is false. And it's yet another example. I love this, right? All these people, they'll always find a way somehow to give Trump credit, even when it's bullshit and he doesn't deserve it. And they will never find a way to ever give Biden credit for anything, right? All the people who said they were anti-war. Well, Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. Biden nearly ended the drone war. Didn't get a fucking word of credit from anybody. Biden did, the CHIPS Act. And did a bunch of different laws, actually, which ended up creating 775,000 factory jobs. Never got a fucking word of credit from anybody. So it's just wild to me how the mental gymnastics works, where these people could look at Trump doing a sea of evil things and come up with some bullshit reason as to why he's doing something good, right? But Biden can actually do some good things, never gets credit from anybody, ever. Ever. So it's just this media environment is just utter trash. It's just utter trash. But thankfully, I think some people are beginning to wake up. I do. I think people are beginning to see this right-wing media ecosystem for what it is. It's just total slop idiocy, and they're outgrowing it.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.